One of the first things you want to do in Gregtech is actually find some ores, of course, because how are you going to do anything if you don't have the ores? And how ores spawn in Gregtech is very interesting. Now, certain mod packs, let's take the example as ATM9, will move these ores. ATM9 has moved them to the mining dimension, and therefore you will not find them in the overworld. Some mod packs obviously may have changed them in other ways, etc., but I just want to make that clear that I am talking about the default way they'd spawn in Gregtech. This will work in Gregtech New Horizons and also Gregtech Community Edition and Gregtech Community Edition Modern. So it's pretty much the same way in all of them. So as you can see here, I've got the chunk borders on, and this is really important when finding ores in Gregtech. So to do this, you press F3 on your keyboard. Obviously, if you press F3, you get all this stuff come up. But if you just hold it down, nothing happens. So hold down F3 and press G. G for gargantuan ore veins from Gregtech. And you'll get the chunk borders. So F3 and G, as you can see. Now, the hard bit is finding the first vein. So the way it works, and I'm going to give you two examples here. So I've got this waypoint that I've used of Journey Map for an ore vein I found here in this chunk. And they spawn every 3 chunks. So second chunk, well, 1, 2, and 3. And there's another ore vein here. So you go 1, 2, 3, and there's another ore vein. So what you have to do is, ideally in the middle of the chunk, like go to the middleist block. So just go diagonally in, and then you just want to dig down. Now, if you have something like a hammer, depending on the mod pack, etc., that can mine like a 3x3, it's going to make life a lot easier. And all you want to do is dig down in the middle of the chunk, and you're going to have to do it in like every chunk until you find one with a vein. Once you find one with a vein, obviously then you know that it's 3 chunks to the next one. But finding the first one is often the hard bit because you don't know which one to start with, which one is the third chunk. So as you can see down here, I have found a rock salt ore, spodumene ore, looking vein. And what you'll see is that there is a ton of ores in this vein. And this is how they spawn. Rather than in the default Minecraft, there's maybe an ore over there, an ore over here, you get these gargantuan ores, lepidotolite ore, if I pronounced that right. As you can see, there's absolutely tons of it. So when you find a ore vein that you want, you will actually have tons of that material. I personally love how it works. So then what we do is we come up, and I'm going to show you the next one. I'm also going to show you a list of the ones that you can find. So I go down into the third chunk over, and I've dug down. Sometimes you may have to go really low. This is being filmed on a very modern version of Minecraft on 1.20. Gregtech New Horizons, for example, is on 1.7 still. So I've come all the way down into the deep slate here, and you can see deep slate redstone ore. So I found the ore vein, but you've got to be careful, because if I just went down in this one block, you might not find it if I was, say, coming down here. That's why I say doing it in a 3x3 is probably the best way. Or maybe do some strip mining through the chunk to try and find the vein. Because imagine I come up through here, I may never saw that bit of redstone, but as soon as you see a piece of ore from Gregtech, you know you have found the vein. So here for the redstone, I knew it. I started digging out around, and lo and behold, I found a massive redstone vein. There is this website you can go to, which is the Gregtech Modern documentation. There may be ones for the older versions of Gregtech as well, but this is showing you, or it may even be the same for the older versions as well, I'm not sure. But this is the ore generation here. And what you can see is the overworld. What veins can we find? So a cassiterite vein will have tin and cassiterite, and it will be from 10 to 80 Y level. If you find a copper tin vein, these are the ones it'll have in it. A galena vein will have galena, silver, and lead. A garnet tin vein will have these in. So basically, you can look through here, and let's say you're looking for gypsum. You could say, okay, well, maybe I should look for a mineral sand vein, and this is what you'll get with those. And it shows you the height range. So there is different height ranges for them. So if you're looking for a certain ore, there's no specific way to find them really easily. At least not this early in the game. So it really is just going to be luck at this point. But you're just going to go around looking through different veins. And I would just say spending a day or two in game, just mining out different ores and seeing what you can find. But that is how you find ores in Gregtech.